Here are 12 elements of a social fitness regimen. 5 minutes every day is number one. So you might remember in 1987, AT&T released a commercial set to the jingle, "Reach out and touch someone." Well, Billy has gone off to college and is feeling lonely and nostalgic. He pecks out his home number on the analog keypad, and his mom picks up. And Billy is initially lighthearted, but his mother senses his wistfulness, and Billy feels heard and seen. Stevie Wonder famously saying, "I just called to say I love you." This notion seems quaint, as it could only now happen on a rotary phone or something. Life is just too busy. But take 5 minutes every day to connect with a relative or friend. Like the vegetables in your garden, your relationships cannot thrive unless they are nurtured. If needed, you can set an automatic reminder on your incredibly smart phone. And speaking of phones, answer it. Pick up when a loved one rings, even if you can't talk. Instead of exchanging an endless stream of texts, just tell your loved ones that you'll return their call as soon as possible. Okay, in-person connection. Don't mistake virtual connection for the real thing. Despite the ever-increasing opportunities to connect online, Americans report having fewer friends than they did decades ago. Connection relies on more than just the content of what someone is saying. We evolve to dance in conversation. We read body language and vocal intonation. We connect through eye contact, mimicking body movements, nodding along, and of course, through offering each other touch and physical affection. Random acts of kindness are spontaneous and unpremeditated gestures of friendliness and generosity. They're often just so simple: a smile to a stranger, public recognition of a coworker, picking up litter in the park or on the street, or leaving a good tip. Now, these deeds may seem small and token, but what is the human condition except an aggregate of billions of small actions? Cultivate compassion. Identify someone else's suffering as your own and actively work to alleviate that suffering. Compassion is an experience of inner being. When you viscerally feel someone else's pain, you transcend self and feel connected to something bigger. Okay, related to that is empathetic joy. Try experiencing joy solely for someone else's joy, without envy and without jealousy. When we witness the achievements of others on social media, we often project our feelings of our own unfulfilled potential onto that person, and this results in envy or resentment. So don't compare. Just simply celebrate the accomplishments of others. Serve. Service to others through volunteering or providing assistance plays a crucial role in social fitness. Serving others can increase empathy and understanding, as it often involves interacting with individuals who may be different from you or in a situation unlike your own. Serving others can provide a sense of purpose and personal fulfillment. We can find deep satisfaction in knowing that we are making a positive difference in the life of others. Service activities often involve collaborating with others, which can create opportunities for social connection. And this can help individuals feel more connected to their communities and foster a sense of social belonging. Okay, build communication skills. So in my 20s, I ran a record label and our music was big in Japan. So I traveled to Tokyo many, many times for business. And my trips were jam-packed with meetings with record executives. And I would ramble on and on, passionately extolling the virtues of a new record or a new signing. And when I finished, there was nothing. Silence. Of course, at first, the lack of response was discombobulating, and I felt the need to awkwardly fill the emptiness. And eventually, I learned that the pregnant pause was actually an indication of respect. My counterpart had listened thoroughly and was now processing an appropriate response. The Japanese listen to understand, not to respond. Now, when someone else is talking, we tend to be formulating our rejoinder and only partially listening. Try to pay full attention to others without any compulsion to reply. Show others that you are invested in their feelings through active listening. And then when you do speak, practice clear, assertive, and respectful communication. And this includes both verbal and nonverbal cues, such as body language and appropriate tone of voice. Okay, foster conflict resolution skills. Now, you can practice the middle way by bringing opposing positions together. Reframe the concept of winning away from trying to elicit an admission of defeat and toward fostering compromise and cooperation. Admit when you're wrong. Say you're sorry. Learn to forgive and move on. Give the gift of presence. So in this age of the attention economy in which everyone and everything is constantly vying for your conscious attention, the most precious gift you can give anyone is the present of presence. Be all there for people. Speaking of being there, while our children and our loved ones may never listen to us, they rarely fail to imitate us. Now, oftentimes we want our influence to be explicit and direct, but never underestimate the immeasurable value of just being there every day, of leading a life of example, of walking an honorable, if occasionally jagged path, such that there are footsteps in which to follow. Solitude. Ironically, deliberate solitude is a means to social fitness. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." So many of us are simply not comfortable alone. We immediately fidget and reach for our phone. However, connection to self is a bridge to social connection. The golden rule is a spiritual axiom shared among myriad tradition. It instructs us to love thy neighbor as thyself. Yes, this maxim asks us to be charitable and altruistic. However, in order to fill this timeless equation, we must also love ourselves. We must belong to ourselves, accepting ourselves for who we are. Now, this is no easy feat, but it begins with being comfortable in our aloneness. Eventually, in fulfilling our own needs and becoming complete, love can become something given and not taken.